when the semester starts?
We were hoping that with the cap too. So we introduced the cap last week, and but I've only had one that's really worked hard on it. But see, in the meantime, we got the announcement that school is over, so now they're having to do the closeout of school. So
yeah.
But at least they have it.
Yeah.
Well, how is everybody?
Hey,
Doing good.
Good.
Well, to Rachel's point, and that's one of the things that I was going to talk about. As soon as they get through closing out school, so they're closing out a month, 5 weeks ahead of time, they're going to be ready to jump in and start summer school a lot earlier.
Yeah.
I can't tell you I was smart enough to know that this was going to happen, but listen to the state board meetings on Friday morning, I'd already suspicion. That's why I said we need to make sure we cover the next one. I've already covered the cap with mine in 603. I know everybody encouraged everybody to cover the next one, because listening to those meetings is like getting hit in the head with a hammer. I had to quit, or I was going to get so dumb I couldn't drive home. But that was one of the things that became clear, that we were just going to, quit pretending and move on. And so, basically, and Danny had already told him when we met with the 601 add-ons that you're just going to keep on going. That, if they could get started now, that would kind of even out the differential between the length of the spring and the summer. And so, but yeah, we suspected that they would be doing a closeout early this year, and so that they could jump right into summer school. So that's kind of the lead off here, is make sure that that we've covered the next evidence in whatever class that it is, except for Steve, who's got the 2 605s. Cover the next evidence so that some of them, I mean, they've already started in 603. Some of them have already started. And I've got some, like the one I sent Doug last night, that's just getting started on the second of the evidence. But she's the anomaly. We've got more that are moving to the third one than hadn't finished the second one. So that's a good thing. I see Kelly's with us, and Malia. Malia sent me an email earlier. I don't know, my email's been slow today. I just answered her back about pass-fail grades. Student James Lyle, imagine that. Wanted to know, how many points he needed to get a pass. Since we're now advertising pass-fail, he doesn't want to do the final project in 602. Raise your hand if you're surprised if you've worked with James before.
I had him. I started out with him, so I know exactly what you're dealing with.
I don't mean to throw James under the bus, but he's representative of some of the students that we have who want to know how many points it takes, in any circumstances to get by. James is going to be like Indiana Jones. He's going to slide in under the gate in heaven, I'm afraid. He's going to roll under just as it closes. But I hope he gets under for all of us. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to slide in underneath the gate. But that's a good question. And so pretty much my determination is A-B, pass, fail. 90% or above, still an A. 80% or above, still a B. 70%, between 70 and 80 would be a pass, which would have been a C, but that'll be a pass. Anything below 70% is a fail. We do ABC only in grad. That's all in passing grades there are in grad school. We don't do any of that other stuff. So for us, it's going to be AB pass, which was the old C, and then fail anything below 70%. So you can take your point schedule, your points, and just multiply those out. The one that Malia had, hers was 1,400 points. So it takes 960 points to get, whatever 70%, I believe that's 960 to get a pass. And if you can do that without doing the final project, if you get enough points, but if you can't, you might want to tackle that. So that's kind of things that we need to be telling students, that the pass-fail deal was not to let them not have to do the work in class. They still got to get 70% of it to pass. And so, but there's been some misunderstanding on that pass-fail deal. I think for some reason students thought they'd all just get a pass. No, the pass-fail was simply to save their GPAs. It was not to save them if they didn't do their work.
I just never discussed it with them at all.
I have not discussed it.
It was never an option. I didn't discuss it with them, and it was never an option for any of mine.
No. I mean, if they don't get 70%, they fail anyway. We just won't be giving C's this time. We'll be giving passes rather than C's, but we'll give A, B, pass, fail.
So Dale, would you recommend that, so for instance, Lisa and I are meeting with our 603 students for the last time tomorrow night. Would you recommend that we tell them this? Is it something that needs to be addressed, or do we just
I don't want to talk to them, but I don't want to give them the option not to do their work. Because then that's just like hitting ourselves. I had a buddy in high school named Sid Branch, and Sid used to say all the time, why in the world would I do that to myself? There's nobody I love better than me. And that has stuck with me my whole life, in that there's nobody I love better than me. Why would I want to put myself through that? You know what happens with our 603 add-ons that you and I have, Karen, is now coming up on the short summer, we'll never get any of them through if we tell them, oh, we'll give you a pass. Because what we'll say is, we'll give you a pass. What they'll hear is, I can quit.
I don't have to do anything.
Exactly. That's what they'll hear. They're like high school seniors. That's what they'll hear.
Good.
That's why I have made a point not to address that. That's why I said James, I'm sure, is asking for that segment of the population. We'll answer his question, but James, you're still going to have to do 70% of the work. But what I don't want to do is tell them that that's our expectation. You know, figure out how many points it takes, and then come sliding in under the gate. Things are going well.
Yeah,
right
Dale,
now.
I'm not going to mention that in class.
No, that's why no, absolutely not. That's not a public consumption kind of thing. You know how?
No, I'll just address him.
You know, in programs like ours that are synchronous programs, everything they don't do this semester, they have to do next semester. It's not like regular undergraduate classes where when this one's over, the next one starts. And students might be behind, like if it's a math course or something sequential, they might be behind. But for us, they haven't got their portfolio done. I do not want to revisit the days when only 30% of our students got through on time.
No.
That's why my beard is white. I will acknowledge I was already bald-headed when I came to Gardner Webb, but my beard had a little bit of color in it. As you can see now, it has none. And that's the reason why. And Barbara's nodding her head. Barbara used to be one of the ones that helped us, or Barbara was the leader on trying to get these 699s corralled. We cannot go back to the days of 699. We will lose our status as an EPP. Now, everybody knows that there are certain things. We're number one, yay, but there are certain things that the state looks at in that ranking. And the first and foremost is on-time graduation rate.
Mm-hmm.
And then they look at customer satisfaction, all of our surveys and SOIs and all the stuff that comes back. That's a big part too. And then third, once they leave, their employer ratings when they get their jobs on the 5 executive standards that they're measured on for us. How many of them grade out at distinguished and accomplished? And so if we don't stay above 80%, and we're running about 86, 87% right now. If we don't stay at above 80% in terms of on-time graduation rate, we won't have to worry about this. Now, people like me and Danny and Steve, Mark, I won't say anybody else, we can go home because we're old enough to retire. But the rest of you folks that aren't will have to be finding something else to do to take up your time. So I mean, that's the point here is we now that NCDPI and the legislature have adopted the CAPE standards. That's the first one. That's the first big hurdle for us is on-time completion rate. And that speaks to this pass-fail. That scares me. We start telling them you just got to pass. So. So that's, but Malia is right. Let's, you know, we'll answer a question, but I wish they had just made this decision for undergraduates, because this, for us in the portfolio, the synchronous folio business, this could be a problem. Speaking of problems, I went by the registrar's office today. She wasn't in, but both Stephen and Pam were there, and I talked with them at length. Right now, I was hoping Dr. Bull might join us today. Right now, we're not going to do anything for May graduation. No departmental, no school, no university, no nothing. Just a hail and hearty handshake, looks like, and slap on the back. Now, we will invite them to what we do in August. And right now, talking with Pam Jackson, that's Luann's assistant registrar. Looks like there's going to be two. They planned for 2 indoor ceremonies in August. An undergraduate and then a graduate, I guess, because of the numbers. And I'm guessing we will invite our summer graduates. Steve has the 2 classes of summer graduates. We don't have, of course, in the spring, we don't have any on-track add-on licensure students to finish this semester. And so we just have our 30 or so, well, you got 29 or 30, Steve, 605s that are finishing this semester. It'll either be 29 or 30 of them. And
it's 29.
29.
29, Dale.
Yeah, and then I've got one that's trying to accelerate. So it'll either be, he's got 29 and I've got 1, and we'll see. So it'll be 29 or 30. And so there won't be anything for them. And I really hate that. I don't know if we ought to try to do something. That's why I want to talk to Dr. Bull. I'll talk to him. If we ought to try to do something online for them, or whether the college doesn't want us to do
like
that.
a virtual celebration where at least, you know, we invite that 30 and then as many of us as possible, and, you know, just do some sort of,
Yeah,
you know,
that's
at
what
least
I
name
would
your
like
name
to
and
do.
something. That would be nice.
That's what I would like to do. But right now, I was told today that they're not, you know, that none of that stuff is, it's not, I don't know that it's being disapproved, but right now, there's no plans in the works to do that. So I don't know whether we should try to, I don't know if that means that they don't want us to do it. I guess I'll need to talk with Dr. Bull, and he'll have to go up the hill and try to get somebody to give him a call on that, whether they don't want that done or don't mind it being done, or I don't know. I would certainly want to do something. I mean, those are
Welcome to
5
the dilemma of
semesters.
every high school. Welcome to
Pardon?
the dilemma. Welcome to the dilemma of every high school.
Hey, Rebecca. Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
Is this where we find the local drive-in? That's the new thing.
Look, I had a 2-hour conversation today where I got to submit to my district the different scenarios and ideas we have for graduation. And of course, it depends on what social distancing is allowed.
Yeah. Well, that's why I went to talk with Luann, and she wasn't in, but I talked with Pam. Gardner Webb is not, as said, there will be nothing like that. No drive-in, no drive-by. There will be nothing physical. No departmental, no college. That they've made that decision because we're talking about, we won't even be into phase 1 of the of the unfreezing by then. That's what they're saying is it'll still be shelter in place. And so,
There was a master's program in Virginia that did a Zoom graduation where when it came time for each graduate's name to be called, they projected just them. They had their cap and gown and they had already received their diploma. So they kind of, held their diploma and everybody got to celebrate them and move on. And they did it from their own home.
yeah, Jeff Hamilton and I talked about that today, that we could figure out how to do a virtual and have a shot of their name or their diploma or have them send us pictures and do that at the appropriate time. That surely we could do something like that. But the university would have to support that, that we could do something like that. I mean, that wouldn't take that long to put together. Because we definitely want to do something for our folks. Now,
And
the
Dale,
August
I'm
deal,
meeting-
pardon?
Hi, Dale. I'm meeting with the 29 tomorrow night. So I don't know if there's some, and then I only have one more meeting after that. So if there's something that we could do, I would love to begin to kind of get them to start sending it, even if it is sending in pictures, sending in
Absolutely.
anything, so we can kind of put into a collage. Do you think we would be able to make some call before I meet with them tomorrow night at 6?
I want to. So I said I'm going to try to get in touch with Dr. Bull. I was by today and he wasn't in. So I'll try to call him in the morning. I was on campus today to try to do some of these things, trying to get some ideas. I'm like Rebecca was talking about what triggered a lot of this was watching the news over the weekend in the different places, what the things that they were trying to do. Parents and other people being involved, schools trying to figure out what they were going to do. And so I wanted to stop and talk with people today. And as I said, Luann wasn't in, but I did talk with the registrar's office, and it was good information that in August 1st, we're going to try to do an indoor ceremony, which, I still got the shakes over getting hit by lightning at the last outdoor graduation in Charlotte-Mecklenburg. That was in 1997. Was the last outdoor graduation. We got hit by lightning. You've heard that story. And so I wasn't very excited about going outdoors this spring. And so Pam said today that is not on the books, that the August 1 will be indoors if we get to do that. And so that's on the
3
plans
o'clock,
now.
right?
Yeah. And so, but I still would like to do, and these people will get invited. I think that's why the university doesn't want us to, doesn't want to support anything itself right now. They want them to come then. But I think we ought to do something virtual if that's permissible.
One of the things that we're doing with our seniors, we usually celebrate Decision Day, which is May 1st for college and for undergrad. And we're not able to do that because we're closed. And so we asked our seniors, when we're live in person, we usually have them wear, like I'm wearing a Gardner Webb shirt today.
Yeah.
So we have them wear what their post-secondary plans are. So if I was going to Gardner Webb, I'd wear Gardner Webb. If we've had students wear their uniform for McDonald's because that's what they're going to continue to do. Or they, have it.
That's just sad. I'm
Truly,
sorry.
it's whatever your post-secondary plans are. And we celebrate that. And we have ice cream when we go out in the courtyard. They get to get out their cell phones, take pictures, all that kind of stuff. So we wanted to continue something like that to celebrate what they're doing after high school. So we had them submit to us virtually a picture of them in what they were doing. But we also said you can get creative. So they could do a virtual background, like one kid imposed himself in a football uniform because he signed a football scholarship. And so they could be creative. Now, out of my 320 seniors, I only had 60 that submitted something, but that's on them. But if you want to do something virtual, if they would allow, you could have them maybe submit their cap and gown picture or some sort of professional picture or some sort of, give them some ideas and then just kind of put a montage and their name.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different options if we're allowed to do this. And, they could send us a picture, they could be creative, they could do something like that. I mean, I'd like to do something. So those are good ideas. I'll talk with Dr. Bull tomorrow. I'll track him down by phone tomorrow, and we'll do that. All right. So we've talked about all those things. I'm gonna share my screen right quick. This has been epidemic this spring, and I don't know, and I'll blame myself. Let me get that out of the way. Move that. Let me go down here. As you can see from today, here are 3 semester internship logs that have been put in for final evaluation. I don't know why we're having such a hard time getting students to understand this spring that that's the last place to put them in the competency folio for the semester. So here are 2 that this is their first semester and they've already submitted 1 log for final evaluation. And here's one from last semester. We've still got another. I'll have to send those back since we get through with the meeting.
And with Lauren, we met with ours one-on-one in a one-on-one coaches meeting, and she's one of them.
I know. That's what I mean.
Explained exactly how to do it.
Well, they're not getting it. It seems like the group that we've had in 601 this time, and some in 603, we've had more than ever before. All this semester, more than all the rest of semesters put together. So I don't know what it is, but anyway, that leads me into competency folio. Let's make sure that we stay on them about competency folio. If students request comments and it doesn't come to you, let me know. I have taught myself how to fix that in TaskStream. I have gotten Seth's password. I bribed that out of him, and so I can get in and fix what I need to fix now. And so let me know if a student requests comments on their folio or won't let them, let me know and I'll put you in where that will work. So we don't want to come out of this semester without artifacts may be the hardest thing for them this semester. Since they did most of their stuff virtually, they may not have a lot of artifacts, quite honestly, other than from their evidence work. I'm afraid they're not going to have a lot of open-ended artifacts. They didn't have parent meetings. They didn't do a lot of the things. And so we do need to make sure coming out of this semester that they're not too deficient coming in, going into the summer on their competency folio of their artifacts. So let's make sure. So stay after them about getting those. That's enough on that. Shells. Lord, if I had hair, it'd fall out. The undergraduate usage of Blackboard, as you know, only about 30% of them used Blackboard before, the undergraduates, professors, and then most of them just used it for gradebook anyway. And now they're actually having to use Blackboard. And so the usage rate of Blackboard is so very high, I'm having to try to find times like in the middle of the night to do course copy. Seriously. It wouldn't copy it. We couldn't, Jeff and I, neither one of us could copy all weekend. It would just spin. Because of the size of our classes, understanding when we move a shell with all the stuff that we have in it, that's like 10 times what they have in an undergraduate shell. And if the traffic's too high, the usage is too high, or they've turned the speed down, if it doesn't copy quickly, you know what happens. Even if it copies, you go in and none of the drop boxes are there or the links are, and you got to go rebuild. And it takes longer to do that than to build it from scratch to begin with. And so I have my 3 603s. I've sent that out for y'all to work on the regular and that. Steve's working on content. I'll build those shells. Anita's she doesn't have 604 and she's already got her X shell. I think we're going to have 2 in that this semester and you're by arrangement. So that's good. We have no 601s, no new students. 602, Malia, you only got one of those. I can copy your shell over, or you can, if you'll just tell me what you want me to do on that one, and I think we're good. I mean, the conquering part of it was getting the 603 converted and built. Steve,
Yeah,
yeah,
Dale,
what's
it's
your-
Malia. If you'll copy my neighbor, I'd appreciate it.
You want me to copy the one from spring? This semester?
Yes, please.
Got it. That's great.
Yes,
And
please.
so I'll probably
Thank
take a
you.
nap. I'll take a nap about about dark tonight, and I'm gonna get up in the middle of the night, seriously. And I'm gonna course copy later tonight. I won't start till after 11 o'clock because everybody pretty much shuts down. But you'd be amazed how much traffic is in Blackboard now. And it's thrown a kink into my plans. Jeff, he went to campus today to see if he could get it to work there, and that wasn't working either. And so we're just going to have to wait till the traffic dies down to do our course copies. It's just an inconvenience, but we got it. It's good. So I'll have those, and then Doug, you and Jackie, I'll meet with you. Try to on Wednesday about 6. I hope to have yours done. Seriously, I hope to get it done tonight. I'll get it done tomorrow, and we'll meet Wednesday. Everybody else is returning. That's our only new pair that'll be teaching this summer. They're coaching with me this semester. Everybody else should be good. If you need a meeting or something, need me to copy something, let me know. But I'll get the 2 shells, the 603 shells. I'll get that done today and tonight and tomorrow night into Wednesday. The 4 shells, Dr. Sanders, she's already got her course by arrangement. Steve's working on his, and when he gets his done, I'll copy it over. So I think we're good on everything.
So Dale, are Rachel and I good about combining into that one course?
Yeah, and I'll have your shell for you. That's a 603 add-on. I'll do that. And
Okay.
Lisa and Karen have the 603 regulars, and Doug and Jackie have a 603 add-on. They're splitting that one.
Dale, this is Phyllis. Will you copy the 605 shell?
Yeah, as soon as Steve gets the materials,
Dale,
I'll copy your shell.
Okay.
And Dale, I have completed them but I've got to go back and do some for the add-ons. I've done it for the regulars, but not the add-ons.
Okay, as soon as Steve gets both of his knocked out, I'll copy them.
Okay, thank you.
We'll do that. So yeah, we should be in good shape this week. We'll get all that taken care of, so that everybody can get started a little bit earlier. But yeah, we'll knock that out this week. I feel good about that.
This is Karen. I have an undergraduate at home, and I would highly recommend 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. because I don't think there's anybody on Blackboard then.
Well, there wouldn't be at Gardner Webb except that the president made them be. They all tried to do afternoon classes, but the president put out an edict: you will hold your Zoom class at the same time your regular class met because of usage. They were crashing every afternoon, Blackboard and Zoom, because nobody was doing their morning class.
It must be a Gardner Webb specific thing then, because I'm not seeing
exactly. And so, but you're exactly right. When I get up in the morning, normally I get up and start work between 6 and 7. I don't have any problem on Blackboard or any of that. But now they're making them actually. He's making them space them out because of the flow rate. You know. It costs them more money, so they're having to. If they peak usage, then they have to pay more, and so he's making them space out their usage. So you're exactly right. Under normal circumstances, it's like Friday afternoon at Gardner Webb. You can run down the road. Nobody could, even if they have a Friday class on schedule, they don't come. Nobody, instructors or students, on Friday. But now he's making them. He's making them actually do their class at the normally scheduled face-to-face time to spread out the load. He even wrote something about that in the strategic plan, that we can have to teach classes at times other than just in the afternoons, Monday, Wednesday, Monday through Thursday, that we're going to actually have to teach Friday classes and more than just an early afternoon around lunchtime. He's caught on.
Dr. Lamb, I've got a question for Karen.
Okay.
I think Karen 603s that I'm going to have this next time. I'm just wondering, what night are they accustomed to meeting?
Tuesday at 7.
Huh?
They've been doing Tuesdays at 7 p.m.
Tuesdays at 7. And are you still doing the thing on May 7th?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So invite me. I'd like to join you.
I
thinking
will.
more-
I'll send an invite out. Dr. Lamb, if it's okay with you, I'll be very specific about what it is, and then I'll give it to you, and you can send it out to everybody if you want. If they just want to, because the more the better in terms of if any of you have advice about that, just so they can go ahead and get that CAP started.
Yep.
Thank you.
Dale, the group that I have now in Web Connect that's showing up as my interns for summer 2020
Uh-huh.
are the same interns that I have right now.
Yeah.
But if that's the case, do what?
I haven't moved any interns yet. I can't move them till the semester's over.
Okay, okay.
Please remember that Seth normally did that, and I'll have to do it. But we can't move them. Whenever we move them, they're moved.
Yeah.
And so I'll have to wait until we close out the semester to move it. So even though you go in and look, you've got the ones you've got now, you know, well, that's not who he said I was going to,
Gotcha.
who I said you're going to have is who you're going to have. I'll have to move them.
Okay.
But we don't have the capacity to roll them at Gardner Webb. We have to wait. They have to be with whoever they're going to be with, and because that goes through task stream. And once they're moved, they're moved. And so, but yes, I will move them just as soon as the semester is over. We'll sort out. There's a few days there. I'll get those sorted out as to where they'll go. And so that's kind of what I'll have to do with that. So yes, look at the schedule that I sent you. It tells you which groups you'll have. You don't have that yet until I move them, but I'll roll them as soon as the semester grades are in. I'll roll them. Yeah, I'm getting to do all kind of new and fun clerical things now that Seth is gone. So that's good. It keeps me busy. I had all this time to loafer before, and so it's a good thing. All right, what's next on the list? Right there, our time is up. It's 30 minutes. Somebody should have already rang the bell. Anybody else have
Hey,
anything
Dale?
for the good of the group? Yes.
If anybody wants or needs somebody who's dealing with high school and COVID-19, I don't have a problem, since I don't have a class this summer, to talk to their students if they want to know like what we've been dealing with and all of that. I'll be happy to.
You'd be a great guest this summer, since yeah, that would be a good thing. You could guest.
Yeah, if anybody wants to know all of the struggles and everything we've been having to deal with
Yeah.
in the regular level, just email me. R Wilson 5 in the Gardner Webb system.
Yeah. All
If
right,
not,
thank you.
no hard feelings, but
No,
offer
that would be good.
it has been an interesting month and a half.
Well, that would be a good thing. I don't want to speak for the for Steve and 605, but that would be an interesting perspective.
Yeah. So just let me know. I mean, right now I'm available any night because I don't have athletics. You know, I'm working from my house 4 days a week. I go into the office one afternoon. And right now we're trying to figure out what are we going to do for graduation. And, you know, I got to have the teachers come in and clean out their classrooms and clean out lockers and, you know, all of those things you don't really think about.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
So just let me know. And, you know, if you choose to do that, it can be whenever. I mean, it doesn't have to be now. It could be June or July or whatever. Just let me know. We can talk about it.
Great. Thank you. Anybody else have anything else for the good of the group?
Dale, I just wanted to say we did not lose not one 601 add-on student, and every one of them have completed successfully everything their APSO and their APTEL and we're down to less than a hand with the ones that have to complete their work in their task stream work, their folio work and their internship. And I can't believe that Chloe Johnson, you've seen the number of emails that I've sent. I told her specifically what to do, and she submitted it in the wrong place anyway. So anyway, it is what it is.
She just did it to spite you.
Well,
I'm gonna go in and send them back right now, and so that they don't get passed on and get hung in the system later. I appreciate all you do for the students and for me. Prayers for all of you, continued health and safety. I know it's a trying time, but we'll go. But it's just another day in the MELS program. We'll get through it. I'll see you all soon. I plan to meet again in 2 weeks. May meet next week according to what we need to do.
Remind me of the first date of summer session.
May 18th, Monday. And
Okay.
it goes through Tuesday, the last Tuesday in July, which is, I believe, the 27th.
right.
Last Tuesday of July.
Thank you.
Thank you. Everybody have a good week.